Hi students, in this video we will discuss about selection sort. First let me explain about the selection sort. So here in selection sort, so in the first iteration what we need to do means leave the first element from the list, then find the smallest element from the remaining elements of the list. So here in this list, what are the elements we have? 30, 20, 50, 10, 25. In selection sort, we should leave the first element, then find the smallest element in the list. So smallest elements means in arrays we discussed how to find the minimum element and maximum element of the array. In the same way, here you need to find the smallest element. Now by seeing this we can say that which is the smallest element? 10. So in the first iteration, leave the first element, then find the smallest element from the remaining elements of the array. Then compare the first element with the smallest element. Compare the first element with the smallest element. If the first element is greater than the smallest element, then interchange those two elements. So here 30 greater than 10, yes. Now what happens? 10 will be placed in first location. These two elements are interchanged or swapped, we can call. Now after completion of first iteration, now the elements are in this order. That is, now the elements are in the order 10, 20, 50, 30, 25. Here we can say that after completion of first iteration, the first element, the smallest element will be placed in first location. Now we consider this element in sorted list and the remaining elements are in unsorted list. We consider as first element in sorted list, sorted order, and the remaining elements are in unsorted order. They are in not in sorted order. Now that is first iteration. In the second iteration, what we need to do here is from the unsorted list, leave the first element, that is second element we will leave the second element, then find the smallest element from the remaining elements of the unsorted list. Leave the second element, then find the smallest element from the remaining elements of the unsorted list. Then here, which is the smallest element among the remaining elements? 25. Then compare 20 with 25. 20 greater than 25? False. No need to interchange. They are already in sorted order. Now in the next iteration, that is after completion of second iteration, we can say that now two elements are in sorted list. Now we have 10, 20, 50, 25. This is the order we have. Now after completion of second iteration, these first two elements are in sorted list. Remaining three elements are in unsorted list. Remaining three elements are in unsorted list. Again, what we need to do in the next iteration? Leave this third element. In the third iteration, leave the third element, then find the smallest element among the remaining unsorted list of elements. Now among 30 and 25, which is the smallest? 25. Then compare 50 with 25. So that is 50 greater than 25? Yes. Then these two elements will be interchanged. So that is we have 25 and 50. 25 and 50. Now after completion of third iteration, the order of the elements are, now we have elements in the order 10, 20, 25, 30 and 50. Now after third iteration, what we can say? First three elements are in sorted order. then this is unsorted list. Even though they are in sorted order, we consider it as unsorted list. Then in the fourth iteration, what we need to do? Leave the fourth element, then find the smallest. There is only one element. This we will consider as smallest element. Now 30 greater than 50, false. Means they are already in sorted order. No need to arrange the elements in order. Now after sorting all the elements, now the elements are in the sorted order, that is 10, 20, 25, 30, 50. Okay. Now observe carefully. I will show you the code here. Now what we need to do? I equal to 0. Now we need to leave the first element. Then from the remaining elements, from these elements, we need to find the smallest element. Observe carefully. Leave this first element. Now from these elements, we need to find the smallest element. So how to find the smallest element? So from second element, we need to find the smallest element. Then we assume that. So what we do here? Now we assume that. So smallest element we need to find. So minimum equal to, here minimum equal to a of I plus 1. Minimum equal to a of I plus 1. That is, we are assuming that 20 is the smallest element. Initially we are assuming that this 20 is the smallest element. And in this code, we want even the index of the smallest element, because in order to swap or interchange, we need the index, that is I plus 1. Here you can see minimum equal to 20 and min index equal to I plus 1, that is 1. So minimum element here, you can see minimum value, minimum is 20. We are assuming that the first element is the smallest element, and index of that minimum element is I plus 1. I is 0, 0 plus 1, 1. Then what we need to do? Then for smallest element, we need to compare with the remaining elements of the array. So for comparison, so for j equal to I plus 1, j less than n, then j plus plus, because we need to compare with all the elements, j less than n, j plus plus. Now how to check for the smallest element? If a of j less than minimum, if a of j is less than minimum, then what we need to do? Minimum equal to a of j. Now we are comparing with all the elements. So min equal to a of j and min index equal to minimum index equal to j. Now observe carefully this point. So first time, what is the value of I? 0. 0 plus 1, 1. So 1 less than number of elements 5, s. It enters into this block. A of 1. What is a of 1? 20. Minimum is also 20. 20 less than 20, false. So it will not enter here. Then again j plus plus. Now j value becomes 2. This is the code to find. This is the code to find the smallest element. Okay. Now minimum 2 less than 5s. A of 2, 50. Minimum is 20. 50 less than 20, false. Again j plus plus 3. A of 3. What is a of 3? 10. 10 less than minimum is 20. 10 less than 20, s. So here this is not I, this is j. A of j. Okay. So minimum equal to a of j, then minimum index equal to j. That is 10 will be stored in minimum, and the index of minimum is 0, 1, 2, 3. That is 3. 10 in index of 10 is 3. Then again after that j plus plus. Now j value becomes 4. 4 less than 5s. A of 4, 25. Minimum is now 10. 25 less than 10, false. J plus plus 5. 5 less than 5, false. Means, so we find the smallest element. Now already we have found the smallest element in the remaining elements. Now what we need to do? Comparison. Compare here. If a of I greater than minimum. If a of I is greater than minimum, then what we need to do? Swap a of I and a of min index. Then swap those two elements. Swap a of I and a of, here we need to write the code. How to write? Temp equal to a of I equal to a of min index equal to a of temp. That is the code for swapping. So if it is greater, then these two elements will be interchanged. In the same way, first iteration is completed, 10 will come to first position. Then after that I plus plus, now I value becomes 1. Now leaving this element, I value becomes 1. Leaving this element, now from the remaining elements we need to find the smallest element. This process will be repeated. Okay, right. So this is the code for selection sort. Now I will show you the execution part. Please concentrate carefully. I will trace and show you the program. Okay, now here, so this is the code for selection sort. So here this process.h is not required. This is the selection sort, int a of int n comma int n. So maximum size is 100, accepting the array size from the user, accepting elements into the array, then calling the function for selection sort, then displaying after sort, displaying the elements of the array. Okay, now this is the code for sorting. So required variables we have declared: minimum equal to a of I plus 1, min index equal to I plus 1, for j equal to I plus 1, j less than n, j plus plus. If a of j is less than minimum, then minimum value a of j is less than minimum, so that this value will be assigned to minimum. Then after coming out of the loop, if a of I is greater than, one second, what we have seen here, a of I, j less than, yeah, right. Now okay, so then we will, if it is greater, then it will be interchange. Please, I will trace and show you the program. Try to understand. If you have any doubt, you can please comment. Let me see here. I will trace and show you the program. So there is an error. Remove this part. Right. Save. Now compile your program. Now I'm tracing the program. Observe carefully, ma. Int a. Now initially by default it contains garbage values. Now entering the size of the array as 5. Now accepting the elements into the array, like what I have accepted, same I will enter: 30, 20, 50, 10, 25. Now these are the elements in the array, that is 30, 20, 50, 10, 25. Now I am calling the function called selection sort. This function will be called. Now here use main.a. Now here you can see what are the elements we have. So the other location contains garbage values: 30, 20, 50, 10, 25. Now observe carefully. For I equal to 0, now you can see I value also. Then again you can see j value also. Then you can see a of j as well as a of I also you can see. Then what is the minimum element? And index of minimum element is not required. Initially it contains garbage value. Now observe here, I equal to 0. Minimum equal to a of I plus 1. What is the value of I? 0. So 0 plus 1, 1. A of 1 is treated as minimum. Now if you observe, this 20 will be stored in minimum. Now minimum value becomes 20. Min index, that is as usual, so index of the smallest element, min index, so that is 1. Then j equal to I plus 1. This is the code to find the smallest element. If a of j, what is a of j? 20. 20 less than 20, false. Then now a of j is 50. 50 less than 20, 50 less than 20, false. Then again, now A of j is 10. 10 less than 20, S enters into this block. 20 is assigned to minimum, and min index equal to, what is the index of 10? That is 3. Now you can see here, min index 3, minimum element is 10. Again the element is 25 now, A of j. 25 less than 10, false. Now, so in that first iteration, it has find the smallest element. A of I means first element. What is that? 30. So minimum means 10. 30 greater than 10, S enters into this block, interchanges, 30 and 10 will be interchanged. Now one iteration is completed. Now you can see 10 and 30 are interchanged their positions. Now in the second iteration, leaving the second element, leaving the 20, it will find again the minimum element from the remaining list of elements. This process will be continued now. Okay, now let me run this program. You can see the after sorting 10, 20, 25, 30, 50. Thank you for watching. See you in next video.